Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jessica McDonald. I'm a knitwear designer and I'm coming to you from a small town in the mountains of Idaho. I'm so glad you're here to hang out with me and hear about everything I've been knitting and a few of my plans. I don't have a lot to show you this time because I haven't been able to knit a whole lot because I have 4 kids and 2 of them have been rather difficult this month. So anyway, today is October 28th. My oldest 3 are off to Grandma's house to make Halloween cookies and Aiden is napping. He's my 2-year-old. So I have a few minutes here to sit down in peace and quiet. There probably won't be any interruptions today. There shouldn't be anyway. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to show you what I'm wearing. This is my Wildhorse cardigan. I'm going to be releasing the pattern on Monday, November 1st. So today is Thursday. I'm going to release it this coming Monday. Hopefully I'll have this podcast up tomorrow. So you have a little bit of warning there. But this pattern is going to come out November 1st. You've seen it a few times. If you've been around, you've seen it a few times. But if you're new, I'll just go over it really quickly again. So it's top-down raglan shaping with this little detail, this little garter stitch detail in the raglan lines, which is just really simple and really cozy. Garter rib on the cuffs, that detail on the cuffs, and the hem also. I'll stand up and show that to you. It's on the hem as well. It's really simple, but it's really squishy and really cozy. And then this giant collar, which if you've been around for a while, you've heard all of my collar drama. I originally made it much smaller than this and then ripped it out and made it huge because bigger is better when it comes to a shawl collar, in my opinion. So it's got this huge, glorious shawl collar. It's made using German short rows. Which reminds me, I still need to record a tutorial for how to do the German short rows. I better do that. Today would be a good day to do that since I don't have any kids in the house. Anyway, it's very classic. It's simple with a few really cozy details that just make it irresistible. And the pattern will be coming out on Monday, November 1st. If you want to make sure you don't miss it, make sure you sign up for my newsletter. It's the best place to be if you want to hear about all of my new patterns. I will have a link to sign up for my newsletter in the description box below this video. So go sign up for my newsletter. You'll be the first to hear when it's released and you will get the best discount. And best of all, you won't miss it. If you follow me on Instagram as well, I do highly encourage you to sign up for my newsletter because every time I launch a pattern, and I'm trying to let you all know that it's available now to purchase, Instagram just really hates me and they don't show that post to anyone. So sign up for my newsletter. That way you won't miss it. It's just the best place to be if you want to hear about my new patterns. So I'm a little bit frustrated with Instagram because every time I put up a post where, the pattern's finally available for people to go and purchase, that post gets shown to like 600 people, whereas my other posts are shown to several thousand, and which 600 people is still a lot, yes. But my follower count is now up to like 9,400, so if Instagram is only showing it to 600 people, that means that most people who chose to follow me because they want to hear about my designs are not going to hear when the pattern is finally ready, which is the ultimate goal, right? I'm just really frustrated with Instagram right now, okay? I've got to be honest. Really honest about Instagram. If it wasn't for the fact that I advertise my business on Instagram, I wouldn't be on it at all. I just wouldn't. I have a personal account that I haven't used in more than a year. I don't have Facebook anymore. There will likely come a day when I just decide that I'm just done with Instagram, honestly, just done with it, and just quit entirely. So make sure you sign up for my newsletter because I'll still send that out. But I might just one day quit Instagram because I'm sure you all share some of my frustrations with the platform. It's just, it doesn't serve me as well as I would like it to. Even though I spend a lot of time and energy on it, yeah, my energy would probably be better served elsewhere versus Instagram. So anyway, that was a bit off topic, wasn't it? Oh, okay. So there's my feelings about Instagram. Yeah, sign up for my newsletter, I guess. So that one day when I decide to just straight up quit Instagram, you can still stay in touch with me. The only good thing about Instagram is I have formed a lot of really nice friendships on there, and I would be sad to see those go. I do chat with a lot of people on Instagram, but I could still chat with them somewhere else, I think. Right? Anyway, Instagram complaints aside, shall we move on to my whips? Actually, wait, I have a finished object. I was thinking I didn't have any. It doesn't have the pom-pom on it, so I guess it's not technically finished, but this is my hat that I made this month. So this is Barrett Wool Co. Wisconsin Woolen spun in the colors Quaker Gray, Penny is the gold color, and Pebble is the dark gray. It's not quite black, but it's nearly black. These are the same colors I used in my Ruska sweater, so I'm thinking I might name this the Ruska Hat. This star, this big star motif, is the main star that runs around the yoke. So Ruska is a colorwork sweater that I released last fall, I believe, or yeah, it's a year old now, I think. You can find the pattern in on Ravelry and my website. I'll put links down below for you. But ever since I finished that sweater, I really wanted to make a hat using the main big star from it in the same colors, because these colors are just fantastic. And this yarn is really, really perfect for color work. It's woolen spun, worsted weight woolen spun. Woolen spun is really nice for color work, because if you can see here, let me focus this a little bit. You can see how the stitches all closely nestle together with a woolen spun yarn. It's just the way the yarn is spun. So a woolen spun yarn, the fibers are all kind of tangled up and they're not combed straight. So they're a little bit floofier. Let me start over. A worsted spun yarn, they comb all of the fibers straight and then spin them. So with a worsted spun yarn, it's going to be really smooth and the stitches are going to be rather crisp. It's a really good style of yarn to use with something you want to have good stitch definition on. But with a woolen spun yarn, they do not comb the fibers straight. So they're all kind of tangled and floofed up as they spin them. So the yarn traps more air and it makes it lighter and warmer because it traps more air, so it has more insulative properties. I don't know if insulative is a word. Anyway, but another thing about woolen spun yarn is when you knit it and then you block it, you wet block it, the stitches kind of puff up and expand a little bit. And so when you're knitting color work with stitches that puff up and kind of expand a little bit and they nestle neatly into the stitches next to them, then you end up with a more cohesive fabric at the end of it. So this is a woolen spun yarn. So you can see how all of the stitches just get really close together and they snug up to each other, and you have a really smooth, cohesive fabric. There's no gaps between the stitches. Like even when you're going from one color to the next, there's no gaps between the stitches. It's just really smooth and cohesive once you've blocked it. I've kind of forgotten where I'm going with this. So that's why woolen spun yarns are really fantastic for color work. And this yarn, the Barrett Wool Co. Wisconsin Woolen Spun, is woolen spun, which makes it absolutely perfect for color work. And it's so warm and cozy. Another reason color work is so nice and warm and cozy is because the inside of the fabric has an extra layer from all of the floats. You can see all of the floats. That makes the fabric thicker, which makes it warmer. So that's why I like to wear my colorwork sweaters on the coldest days, particularly Ruska, because it's just so warm and cozy and comfortable, and it feels so good. So this will likely be called my Ruska Hat. I am not 100% settled on that name. I need to finish up the pattern. There's a few things left to do in the pattern. Make a bobble, send it off to my tech editor so I can get the test knit going, because I'd like to release this in January. I think it'd be a really fantastic, kind of fun, selfish project after you're done with your Christmas knitting and you're done with the holidays and you clean everything up, and then you want to sit down and do something restful and calm. And this one was really quick, so it would give you some really nice instant gratification, which I must say, concerning instant gratification, normally I knit sweaters pretty much exclusively. You know that if you've been around for a while. But knitting a hat was just so fun. I did this in less than a week, and it's done already, except for the bobble. And it's done, and it's ready to go. And just having it done so fast was just so nice. So I think I might do a few more small projects, because that instant gratification was really, really nice. I fussed with this crown. I fussed with this crown so much. I think I must have ripped it and reknit it like 8 times before I finally did this. So what I originally wanted is, you know how on a traditional Fair Isle colorwork hat, it'll have like a 6-point crown, and the way the decreases come together, they look like a star. I really wanted to do that, but by the time, this is supposed to be a folded brim, by the way, by the time you finish the color work, the hat is so tall that if I did a taller crown, like what would be necessary to make that 6-point star crown, it would be quite tall and it would stick quite a ways up from my head, which I didn't want. So I ended up doing something really, really quick, a bunch of really quick decreases, which isn't the prettiest, but I think it was the best choice for this hat. And then I'm going to put a nice big floofy bobble up here, which I haven't done yet. I left the center string nice and long for securing the bobble, but yeah. Other than the bobble, it's done. And it fits me really nicely. So I do the folded brim, which according to my query on Instagram, most people love the folded brim. I really like them because it's really cold here, and just that extra layer of fabric is really nice and warm and cozy. And I have a rather narrow face. It's rather narrow and long, so I like something that adds width, because if I did, a really tight hat with no folded brim, it would just be like all sucked in and skinny. I like a little width. So here you can see my hat. Hopefully you can see. I can't see what you can see right now. Yeah. I'm really pleased with it. This is the biggest size. I have a giant head. It's even a little bit bigger than my husband's, so men's large is supposed to be like the largest hat size, but my head is just giant. It's the room for all of my brains, right? So this is the biggest size, and it doesn't fit tight, which I'm happy about, because I don't like tight hats. I'm generally not a hat wearer. I don't like hats. Not even shade hats. I really, really struggle to wear a hat outside in the summer, even though I know I really need to. So the fact that it doesn't fit tight makes me very happy. But it's very cozy, should be perfectly warm. and fantastic. It just needs its bobble. But it's not super cold here, so I don't need to wear it outside yet. So there's my FO. I have a lot of yarn left from this. So here's the leftover main color. The skeins, the Barrett Wool Co. skeins, the Wisconsin Wool skeins are huge. They're absolutely amazing. I love a big fat fluffy skein. So I've got quite a lot left, and I actually even have a full skein of the Quaker Gray as well. So I was thinking I would make myself a pair of really nice cozy slipper socks with these colors. I'm not gonna be able to do, you know, a big star like this, I don't think, on them, but I'd really like to make some really cozy slippers out of them, because I think that would be absolutely delightful. But then I was also thinking that maybe I'd like to make some mittens out of it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying not to get too much ahead of myself with that. But I do need mittens, but I need cozy, warm socks even more than I need mittens. I have a pair of mittens. They do need to be replaced, but I could eke them along for another winter, I'm sure. So this will likely become slipper socks for my poor cold feet. So there's my FO. Probably called the Ruska Hat, but I'm not settled on that name yet. Probably will come out in January, so sign up for my newsletter if you don't want to miss that one. Now we'll talk about my whips. I say whips, but I've only got one. And it was a whip last time, so you might be a little disappointed in me. But I'm nearly to the bottom of the body now. So this is Blizzard. Let me move these ends so you can see it. This is Blizzard. Doesn't that look stunning? Just absolutely stunning. This is gonna look so fantastic. So excited for this one. Okay, so this is Blizzard. I just got the pattern back from the tech editor. I really need to start the test knit today. I think I'm gonna sit down and do that right after I get done filming this podcast. The body and sleeves are just plain, so I'm comfortable starting the test knit and getting it tech edited and all that before I finish the whole sample. So you may remember Skift. It's the little brown and white colorwork sweater that I made for Aiden that I released in August. The first time I posted a picture of that, I had a ton of people already asking me for an adult-sized version of it. So this is the adult-sized version of it. You can see I've got most of the body done. I've just begun the ribbing. I've done like 4 rounds of ribbing at the bottom of the body. So I just need to finish that and then knock out the sleeves. Most people don't like sleeves, but I don't mind them at all. They're so fast. They're just so fast to knit. And once you know, okay, I need to decrease every 9 rounds, 13 total times, you don't need to look at the pattern again, and you can just knit and go. And it's really fun to, you know, decrease every so often. It kind of works like progress keeper. Your decreases are your progress keeper, and you can see your progress really easily, and it goes really fast, especially after knitting the whole body. It just feels like it flies off the needles. So I don't mind sleeves at all. So there's this one. Coming right along. This one is going to come out in the end of January or beginning of February. I haven't quite decided on the exact date yet, and that will be decided when I start the test knit and I count out, you know, however long I'm going to give my testers to knit the sweater. So yeah, sign up for my newsletter if you don't want to miss this one. This one I designed specifically for somebody who's not confident knitting colorwork. So yes, it's stunning and gorgeous, and anyone can make it, even somebody who is an experienced colorwork knitter. But I made this one specifically for people who are not confident knitting colorwork. So you can make your own stunning colorwork yoke sweater easily enough. It's not too hard. The repeats are all kept easily memorized. The floats are short. The increases are placed in plain rounds, so you're not remembering color and increase patterning. And I have recorded a fairly in-depth tutorial. So just about how to knit the color work, and I talked a bit about color work dominance. So if you do not know how to knit color work, it will be just the perfect thing for you to learn how to knit color work so that you can practice it and gain confidence, because color work is my favorite, I think, of all of the styles of knitting. I like them all, let's be honest, but I think color work is my favorite. And I want everyone to be able to knit color work because it's just fantastic. It's beautiful, it's super fun to do. So I've been recording a tutorial. I think I've recorded everything that I'm going to record for it. Just need to put it together and put it on YouTube, which will happen eventually. Like I said, I've been really busy being a mom this month, so I have not been able to do as much stuff as I want or really need to do, because I've been spending a lot of time taking care of my children because they've been needing me a lot more. So that's why I'm still working on this one. And I haven't accomplished a whole lot this month. So there's my whips. My only whip. I don't ever really know how much personal life stuff people want in this podcast. When I watch podcasts, I enjoy hearing about what people are up to, what's going on in their lives. I enjoy that, but then I feel a little bit odd sharing my stuff. I feel like it's probably boring and uninteresting, and you may not like it, but yeah, you can let me know what you think in the comments. Do you want to hear more boring life stuff or less boring life stuff? You can let me know. I will give you a quick update now since I'm talking about it. Aiden, my 2-year-old, was just mad at the world for about 6 weeks. And I thought, he's teething. He's definitely teething. And then there were no teeth. And it was weeks and weeks. And I was like, I guess he's just 2 now. And he's just going to be my worst ever 2-year-old I've ever had. And then his molar erupted. It's like, thank goodness. This was only a temporary thing. He's now back to normal, cheerful, determined to be happy Aiden, which he is just a happy person. He's just a happy person. So yeah, I'm glad that's done, but I'm sure that there's going to be more molars coming in the next few months, because it's just the first one, and typically they come, the bottom 2 will come first, and then there'll be a tiny break, and then the top 2 will come through. So I'm sure we'll start into another molar before too long. He's really hard when he's teething. Let me just say that. He's just mad at everything, and nothing makes him happy. Just mad. But he's happy right now, so that's nice. And then my 6-year-old Brenna, she has decided to fight sleep with everything she possibly can muster. So bedtime, instead of just tucking into bed, good night, sweetie, I love you, it's now an hour and a half or 2 hours of her getting out of bed, laying there yelling for one parent or the other to come down, asking for books to be read, songs to be sung, another snack, just dragging it out as much as she possibly can. And then she's also started getting up in the middle of the night. She'll either get up or she'll lay in bed and yell and yell and yell and wake everybody up, all of her siblings up. And some nights are really hard. Last night wasn't bad. She only woke up once and I told her to go back to sleep and she did. But the night before, she was up from about 1:15 until 4:30, just repeatedly getting out of bed, repeatedly just laying in bed, calling me or crying because I told her, no, you have to stay in bed and sleep. she decided that she would fare better with her father, because I just kept putting her back to bed. And she snuck upstairs, and I kept thinking, somebody's sneaking upstairs, somebody's sneaking in, and I kept checking, and nobody was there. Nobody was there, and I thought I was going crazy. She was on my husband's side of the bed, on the floor, crouched down, just quietly creeping up to wake up my husband, because she thought she would get more from him than she was getting from me. Which my husband gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, so he does not need to be woken up during the night by a 6-year-old who just wants to have a song sung to her. So yeah, that was a couple nights ago. So I'm tired. I'm tired. And when you're tired, you can't do as much. So that's been the last month. A teething 2-year-old and a 6-year-old who will not sleep. She's gonna have a sleepover at a friend's house. Well, we all are gonna have a sleepover at a friend's house in a few days. So hopefully that just like snaps her out of it and hits the reset button or something, because she really needs to sleep. She is cranky. She is cranky. I am too, in all fairness. You need your sleep. You need your sleep. So if you're still here after listening to that life update, you can tell me down below if you want to hear more of the same. I thought I would show you my yarn acquisitions. I'm working on collecting the yarn I need for the grown-up versions of all the Woodland Ramble patterns. So if you've been around, you know what Woodland Ramble is, but if you are new here, Woodland Ramble is a collection of children's patterns that I released the beginning of this month. There's 7 patterns. You can buy them individually as an ebook or as a printed book. And everybody has been wanting the adult versions of them, so I'm going to do the adult versions and release them next year as a book that I am going to call Forest. They're all inspired by the forest. So I'm working on collecting the yarns now. I'm going to use the same yarns I used in the children's version, which is Durarum Natura, which they're having trouble with their mills, so it's kind of hard to get a hold of them sometimes. There's only one person in the United States who sells it online, which is Jess from Shop La Mercerie. And she had, first of all, when I hopped on to buy all my yarn and I noticed that she didn't really have much, I bought all of the Ulysse, which was 9 skeins, in the color Goland, which is, this is the main color for cedar and birch, and the main color in juniper as well. So I need a lot of this. So I ordered the 9 skeins she still had in stock, and I have a couple left over from when I did Woodland Ramble. So I think that I should be able to knit the grown-up version of birch with the amount of yarn that I have on hand, but it will not be enough to do for everything that I need. So I bought this, and this is just sitting in the bag waiting for me to get time to write the pattern, which I haven't had time to do this month. I really wanted to grade and write 2 of the patterns, which I don't have to write them completely from scratch because I've already written the pattern for the children's version. I just need to grade it and get all the new numbers, and then there might be some changes between the children and adult patterns, but not much. So it should just be putting in the new numbers, which will save me a lot of work, but I still haven't had a chance to do it. And then she got a restock. Jess got a restock, and I bought 6 skeins of Juliet in the color Caramel. This is to make the adult version of Tamarack. This should be enough for the adult version of Tamarack. I'm going to give them different names, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I thought I could give them the Latin because I named all of the Woodland Ramble patterns after trees, I thought I could use the Latin name of the tree, but that might be hard to remember and spell. And I want it to be something people can easily remember and spell. So I've got 6 skeins of Juliet in the color Caramel to make the grown up Tamarack, which I think is the first one I'm going to do, but I just haven't had a chance to do that. And they're not in here anymore, but there were also, I also bought 2 skeins of Ulisse in the color Caramel, because the grown up cedar uses Ulisse, it's a sport weight yarn, uses cedar. The grown-up cedar uses caramel as one of the contrast colors, and I was thinking about, you can tell me your opinion down below. So I was originally thinking that I would just take the Snowy Hat and Mittens and the Juniper Cowl, which are the accessories in Woodland Ramble, and just also put them in the Forest collection. But now I'm wondering if I should make entirely new accessories. So I'm thinking that I'm going to make a colorwork shawl, kind of in the style of the Snowy Hat and Mittens, to go along with that. And then I could possibly make hat and mittens based off of like the Juniper Cowl. So it's kind of, the Juniper Cowl will have a matching hat and mittens, even though they're in a separate book. And the Snowy Hat and Mittens will have a matching shawl. So you can tell me if you like that idea or not. So I'm thinking about doing that instead of just taking the accessory patterns I already have and popping them into the new book. That might be a better way to go, because you can still also get all of those patterns individually. So if you decide you want to buy the Forest book but not Woodland Ramble, you could just buy, you know, individually the Snowy Hat if you wanted just that pattern. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with the sweaters and let the accessory question kind of percolate, I guess. And you can give me your opinion. You can tell me what you think I should do. So anyway, there's my yarn purchases for this month. I did buy also from Jess at Shop La Mercerie. I'm gonna say this wrong, I know. Bitches and Bushes? That cannot be right. Biche and Bouche? It's French. I'm doing all these French yarns and I cannot for the life of me say their names. I'll put a link to it, I guess, and you can go see. They have come out with a new base that is a light worsted DK weight yarn, and I've been wanting to use their yarn for a long time, wanting to try it out, and so I bought it in the medium dark gray. It hasn't come yet, but I bought a sweater quantity in the medium dark gray color so that I can reknit my Woodsmoke pattern. If you watched my sweater audit video, which was from August or September, a month or 2 ago, my sweater audit video, you will have heard me go on at length about how I like Woodsmoke, but I can't wear mohair, and it's knit and mohair. It's just too irritating for my skin, and so I wanted to reknit it. So I bought that yarn to reknit Woodsmoke with, because I think it'll be really perfect for it. It's kind of a tweedy, heathered color, so that still hasn't come yet. So I bought a lot of yarn this month, but I haven't done a lot of knitting. So I need to fix that in November. Hopefully November I can knit a lot more, and maybe I'll stop buying yarn, but no promises there. Anyway. So I think that's everything I have to talk about. I brought these skeins out because I was going to say, show them off. I bought these about a year ago, and I can't decide if I want to make a pair of mittens or a pair of socks out of them. Some colorwork something, a small colorwork something. This is Harrisville Designs Highland. And I really need to do something with them. They would make stunning mittens, fantastic socks. Maybe I'll do socks because I need socks. I really do. But I really don't know what I'm going to do with these. But I am going to try to think up a project for them because I really want more small projects on my needles just for instant gratification. And I love color work, so I will gravitate towards that. So I'm going to think of something to do with these. And I think that's all I have to share with you today. I certainly talked for long enough, even though I only had technically 2 things to show you. So Wildhorse, the Wildhorse cardigan will be out Monday, November 1st. Sign up for my newsletter to make sure you don't miss it. And I think that will be all for today. I'm going to sign off now and go do some work and try to get something done during nap time, which probably only have an hour left. So I will talk to you guys later, and happy knitting. Bye.